respected organizers of the World in 2050 Imagining and Creating Just Climate Futures Conference, and attendees worldwide. My name is Hasmukh Sapnawala. I am passionate about creating an experience based holistic learning environment for children of all ages. The title of my presentation today is A Creative World Needs Child Centric Communities. Industrialization has resulted in the human species mining the earth indiscriminately. This has also extended into the education system, mining the minds of our children indiscriminately. As a result, our children and therefore the entire human species has lost its creative ability because of the process of systematic desensitization. The purpose of this presentation is to help nurture a world wherein our creative abilities of our children and therefore that of the entire human species are left intact. This will result in our future in 2050 with a happy, healthy, and harmonious coexistence with all nature around us. For the listeners, I would like to let you know that I am doing this recording in a natural environment, and you might hear some natural sounds like dogs barking and so on in the background. Please bear with me on this. Our ultimate goal should be to create a world where we coexist harmoniously with nature with a seamless integration of technology and our basic needs. Today, technology is used to create metropolises worldwide wherein people are forced to live in unnatural clusters causing pollution of noise, air, water, and light. This is unhealthy for us and most importantly unhealthy for all nature around us. We should instead be using technology to facilitate existence of human beings in diverse natural environments. This will result in a healthy human species and planet. While most of us are focusing on creating an infrastructure of the future for our children, we should instead be focusing on facilitating and developing for our children in such a way that they have the ability to chart their own future and that of the human species. The point to be noted here is that the future of the planet never was, never is, and will never be in danger. It is only the future of the human species that is questionable. The planet has survived for billions of years before us, and in that struggle of survival, it has gained a wisdom that is far beyond our current comprehension. While we have failed to comprehend this wisdom, it would be foolish on our part to pass that shortcoming to our children. Okay. In the year 2050, we should visualize people are living in the wilderness surrounded by nature, with nature, for nature. Most communities are self-sustained, interconnected ecopolises. We have to transition from our current mentality of metropolises to nature-friendly communities which harvest energy from solar, wind, water, biomass, and other renewable sources. Today, metropolises generate waste that clog the life-giving elements of nature, air, water, and light. The ecopolises, on the contrary, will enhance the elements of nature by fostering a large number of plants, reducing our needs, and minimizing pollution of all types. Human beings are the only species that use monetary currency for their survival. In future, we need to transition to the currency of nature where sharing is more important than ownership. Just as nature shares its produce with us, we should be sharing our abilities with each other and with nature. This will result in our harmonious coexistence with nature. It will result in our extinction and make the planet thrive. I would like to emphasize at this point that I would not be using any statistical information for convincing the attendees about the facts in the presentation. Instead, I hope that the actions carried out so far and the results achieved are proof enough that what is presented here will lead towards a happy, healthy, harmonious coexistence with nature for the entire human race. Children are not just our future, they are our only future. One of my fields of interest is neuroplasticity, which believes that our brain is not hardwired but is plastic enough to mold itself to the needs of the person. At birth, the human child is the least developed among all its equivalents in the animal kingdom. A baby giraffe falls from a height at birth and is able to start walking within a few moments so as to avoid predators. The birth canal of a human being is much narrower because a mother gives birth on 2 feet and has a narrower pelvis. In an infant's brain, there are 200 billion nerve cells, and if it were fully developed, it would not fit through the birth canal. Yet, after 10 years, only 100 billion of those nerve cells remain. This is so because of the lack of stimuli. The role of the learning environment should be to maximize the exposure of the child to various stimuli at as young an age as possible. This can be best achieved by child centric communities. Our children need all the help we can give. In doing so, we need to eliminate all discriminatory modes of identification like religion, caste, color, ethnicity, nationality, etc. We should focus on livelihood and governance that encourages holistic learning. By the year 2035, we should be well into the state of transition to the 2050 scenario. Here is a blueprint of that transition. At the center is an experience based holistic learning environment that maximizes the multiplicity of stimuli a child can get. We are giving each child opportunities to explore their curiosity. This would result in a creative coexistence of human beings and nature. Surrounding this learning environment is a community that lives on food forest based agriculture, butterflies and bees for pollination, animals to help in our daily chores and to provide nourishment. There will be a sun park to help understand the most important source of energy for all. The hope is that this will be a prototype of ecopolicies for successful implementation worldwide. These implementations will be dynamic enough to cater to local requirements, like grains that are applicable to one area may be different from those applicable to another area. These models embody the philosophy of global thinking, local linking. Some of the examples of self-sustainable lifestyles would include bamboo-based living structures, organically grown food, and use of technology for preservation of excess harvests. Sun-drying tomatoes using energy-efficient devices is an example of how it can be preserved for future use. We have ways in teaching children about Bernoulli's principle, convection currents, Pythagoras' theorem, and the geography of the earth when making the use of such innovative devices. Some of the experience-based holistic learning opportunities proposed have already been implemented at a place called Sapna Ranch in India. Here are some of the projects: an aquarium technology-based multi-purpose pond, a geometric dome for living, a geodesic dome for learning and living, a vertical axis wind turbine which uses information from wind tunnel tests done by the US Air Force for a project in Guatemala, and results of tests done by NASA for efficient harvesting of wind energy, bamboo-based furniture, ETC, evacuated tube collector based solar water heater. These are just some of the projects that have been implemented with the focus of helping children learn to harvest alternative sources of energy and harmoniously coexist with nature. During these implementations, children were guided by the principles of forgiving design and go with the flow. In forgiving design, children are encouraged to be creative in managing mistakes made and be prepared to change the course of actions to maximize the learning. Go with the flow philosophy encourages children to be flexible and dynamic in changing the course and, if necessary, the destination without compromising on the opportunity for learning. In conclusion, the current socio-economic mindset views the diversity of the planet as a problem. It is trying to make everything look simple and organized. In doing so, we are indiscriminately destroying the balance that exists between different beings in nature. What is being thought as a solution today is in reality a problem of gigantic proportions for tomorrow. We need to transition from socio-economic mindset to a socio-cultural mindset. In doing so, we will see the problem caused by industrialization and the indiscriminate mining of these resources of our planet. To understand the complexity of this situation, let us just flip the Rubik's Cube problem. I challenge you that it would take the world champion of Rubik's Cube problem solving a lot longer to solve it in the manner illustrated in this slide. However hard it may seem, the reality is that we will have to go through this transition. The natural next step would be to move from a socio-cultural mindset to a socio-ecological mindset. In this scenario, we will leave nature as it is and harmoniously coexist with it. We will learn from the wisdom of nature and enrich our lives for eons to come. Michelangelo was asked as to how he could carve out those lifelike statues from a rock of marble. His response was, "The statue is already there in the rock. I just chip away the unwanted portions." Likewise, our children are already masterpieces, each one unique and priceless in their natural form. Our challenge is to let them stay that way. We need to create communities that will facilitate experience-based, holistic learning and help our children stay creative. They'll be doing the change, living the change, and sharing the change. I sincerely hope this dream becomes a reality. If you have any questions on the presentation, feel free to contact me with the details provided on this slide. My email address is hasmukh@ebl.org, HASMUKH@ebhle.org. Thank you for listening to me.